on the streets. You can do it. Ain't built for the weekend. Sweet. This sugar. One man on me, but get deep. Watch what you doing. I ain't damaged goods.
Now we're cooking. It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook. He's back and coming off a big game a weekend ago, as it'll be the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings heading out, and it's Kirk Cousins at the helm in his second season in purple and white, 8th year overall. 30 touchdown pass at the Vikings back into the postseason.
Check. Ready? Check. 53. All day, every day.
And up sacks on the season.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Cousins now. And that's incomplete. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
And running back Dalvin Cook was drafted in 2017 to be the lead runner for the Vikings, and he should love what they're putting in for him in 2019. This is a run-first, run-heavy offense as dictated by their head coach. Dalvin Cook should get more than enough carries to threaten 1,000 yards rushing this season.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Here's Cousins. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be in. Too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. With it is Jackson. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. So here come the Eagles under 4th-year head coach Doug Peterson. They will be led out by the 2nd overall pick back in 2016. Hard to believe he's already in his 4th season. Carson Wentz.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this first down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8. The tackle goes there to Linval Joseph. And the tight end, Zach Ertz, is key in this offense as we get a look at the starters.
Comes out of the factory known as Stanford, which keeps putting out tight ends. Zach Ertz, one of the better ones we've seen in recent years.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Wentz to throw. And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 13. It's a first down. The numbers for Jeffrey from last week: 4 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown.
And he's number 6 in the league in receiving yards, and he plays for his team first. But he also, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, if I can get into the top 5, that might affect his bonus in his contract.
Eric Kendricks, the Vikings' leading tackler a season ago, in on the stop. Well, look now at our starting defense. Currently number 1 in the NFL against the run. Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now you've got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air. On play action, it's Wentz. Eluding the pressure right. And his throw here's incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
It's Clement back to the running game. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's an Eagles first down on a gain of 11.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
This pass complete, wins to Ertz. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. A first carry for Wendell Smallwood. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Here we go, D. Here I come again.
Shotgun now for Wentz. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Nice touchdown, baby. Keep working.
From 4 yards out. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Elliott good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings now heading onto the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 17 carries, 92 yards.
He's having a nice season, and he knows where he ranks in the league. Don't ever let a running back tell you that they don't know that. They do. So what he's doing now is lobbying the offensive coordinator all week long. Hey, how about a few more touches? He's one big game away from maybe leading the league.
They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had.
From the gun, here's Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. A look now at the defensive starters for Philadelphia. They really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in, and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
3rd and goal for Cousins. And Cook has it, left side. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They do get 8 out of the pitch and catch. However, it's 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Bailey's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They'll run with Clement. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
A pretty good-looking run there on first down. That'll go for 9 yards, just short of the line to gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Going for the deep ball. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they've managed to get it done.
Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Here we go. 120. Hey, we got to get this stop here. Listen.
They'll run on first down. Clement. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 10 more there and another first down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. After 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Eagles in possession as they come up now 2nd and goal. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. On 2nd down, Clement. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. Now flags come in here. Looked like one of the Eagles might have moved. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
A bad time for a false start penalty as they're backed up now for 3rd and goal. Wentz now to throw. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
And Elliott puts this one through. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep route, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Cook. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On the return, Jackson. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And possession will switch hands. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time they got 3 points.
They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on
there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go.
And Jeffrey's got it. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. To throw, it's Wentz. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Well, that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you give the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here?
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Give them 3 yards there with a 1st down pickup.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a 1st down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Pretty good results here on the 1st down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
53, check 53.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. The throw complete to Beebe. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there and a 1st down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 11 more on that one and another 1st down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Right here.
Completes it right side to Dodson. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. They'll throw again. Cousins. And that'll be incomplete.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the area. Correct call made. No grounding. Throwing DeMarcus Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. It's a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that'll bring him back within 4. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Wentz now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Wentz. Looking for Ertz, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see...
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Josh Doxson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Well, later tonight, we have more football. Sunday night football, a good one out west. Steelers and Chargers might see equal amounts of black and gold mixed with a powder blue in the stands for that one. And then tomorrow, Monday night football, Detroit and Green Bay battle in the NFC North from Lambeau Field. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
From the 29, Wentz, and that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So, flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's good.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
throwing. Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete.
Here comes the ball.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Cousins now 12 of 16 thus far. It's 1st and 10. Cousins setting up the screen for Cook. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. To the air again, it's Cousins. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. On 3rd down, Cousins. He's going to walk it. This is caught inside the 15. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Give him 35 yards there on the 3rd down conversion. So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Fletcher Cox racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. And this a 39-yard attempt. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, and those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, let's stay in the Midwest and head down to Kansas City to check on the Chiefs at Arrowhead. And they've got the lead over the visiting Houston Texans. Patrick Mahomes killing it. 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And they were winners in that one over the visiting New York Giants. Tom Brady, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. In the game you're watching, it's been Kirk Cousins with a hot hand in the first half. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. So here are the Eagles to take over. They fell last week to the Jets, but they've got the lead right now as they start this drive. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Flush to his right. Now on the run. He'll throw it back deep over the middle. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line. 2nd and 10. They'll run here with Clement. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
And Anthony Barr just has it all as far as I'm concerned in terms of physique, athletic ability, and now he's versatile as well. When he came out of UCLA, he played outside linebacker, but also down defensive end. The Vikings can utilize those same sort of skills.
To throw is Wentz. Looking left side, and it's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down. Wentz now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%. And it's 1st and 10. A run, it's Clement. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Right there, 54, right there, right there, 54 by 42 yards.
On 2nd and 12, Wentz, and he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Xavier Rhodes with a pick, and a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the intended receiver. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So here are the Vikings to take over. They were winners last week, defeating the New York Giants. They lead this one as well right now as they come up 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Trying to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. Malcolm Jenkins up to make the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 5 now. Cousins. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a 1st down.
So far this season, this is an offense that's proved its ability to move the football. I mean, they're in the top 5 in the NFL and picking up 1st downs, and they get the conversion here. And I think a lot of that is due to how they win on 1st and 2nd down, because that leaves
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Malcolm Jenkins. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism, because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. Elliott now to add the extra point. And that one puts them on top here in the 3rd. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick-6. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And following the pick-6, and they decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
From the 31, Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 16 yards, a first down.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes
rush coming, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Throwing on second and long. Cousins. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down.
Hey, Mike 52, Mike 52. Get him, get him, get him.
Cousins from the gun on third. And complete right side to Cook. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Wentz. Ertz over the middle. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. A big play there for Philly. 43 yards.
That was a real nice job right there. Working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And you know, partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way, big plays can result.
And a big play resulted right there. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wentz. Ertz has it left side. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
Here's Clement. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Trey Waynes, the Michigan State man, right there in coverage.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their history. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
So after the run for a yard, here comes 2nd and 9 from the 26. To throw is Cousins. And complete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph.
Holding offense.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
Off the play fake. Cousins. He's going to air one out. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Josh Doxson. And now it's 3rd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Here's Jackson to return. The quick feet by Jackson. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50. 1st and 10. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. It's an Eagles 1st down on a gain of 11. Throwing on first is Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, the teammate.
And he's going to go down again. Anthony Barr in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to 4th down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run. But how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A throw on the quick slant, going to be complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Cousins to throw it. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Wentz. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
They run it again with Cook. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this.
3rd down, Dalvin Cook. And he's going to come up well short as they rally up to stop him at about the 16. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Nigel Bradham. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
It's probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass,
knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
Elliott on for the extra point. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Kirk Cousins now, the centerpiece of our player spotlight. And boy, Charles, they have to find a way to just get him some time to breathe back there. He's been pressured throughout this game.
And I'll bet in his mind he's thinking the focus shouldn't be on how many times I've gone down. It's where is it happening? Where are the breakdowns up front? He'll never say it publicly because good leaders don't do that. But they've got to figure out what's happening in the offensive line to keep people away from him so he actually has a chance to throw the football, because so far that has not been the case.
5 full sacks against him. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games but only led the Vikes to just 1 fourth-quarter comeback like he's trying to do here. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They only needed 1 yard on 3rd down. They get 10 instead by going to the air. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Cousins. His throw incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. But it's going to be 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And a lot of talent on this Eagle defense, and you've seen it on these last two plays, both losses.
Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give them a lot of confidence to help turn things around. 3rd and long for Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete. Here's Britton Colquitt now. He's been terrific so far. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked out at about the 3-yard line. Now, if you're a fan of punting, this game's for you. He's been out there quite a bit. That one, maybe his best yet.
Yeah, he certainly got his leg loose by now. It kind of reminds me of my college football coach, John Majors. He loved the punting game because he liked the positioning, the field position, and he loved to play defense.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. So not quite out of danger just yet. Still backed up a bit, but only need a few inches here on 2nd down. Now Wentz. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
They'll try and run here with Clement. And they're going to get the first out here as he's up to the 14. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Smallwood. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On 3rd down, Clement. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Here's Wentz to throw. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock. Really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And this will be incomplete. physical play on the football there, and it's second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Sometimes it's just bad luck for a player. Sidney Jones was a lock to be in the first round, partner. He was going to go and make a difference somewhere. Hurt his Achilles at his pro day, ended up sliding into the second round. But he's going to make Philadelphia Eagles fans very happy because they make a lot of plays as they just saw.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pickup there of 20 yards. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Cousins over the middle here to Rudolph. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. And here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. And he'll go down at the 28. 7 yards there and a first down.
53, check 53.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. The throw complete to Beebe. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the Eagles' 26-yard line.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And an alley to run. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a first down. To throw, Cousins. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
One of the selling points of the end route is it gives the quarterback a really nice side.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
And he finds Cook. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. Cousins. This is caught. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed. But if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right. And if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
So now here are the Vikings faced with a big 2-point conversion attempt. And they'll still try and run for it. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. But he will not get in here. He's stopped up short of the goal line, and this will remain a 5-point game. And the Eagles are going to recover. And that might be enough to put a bow on this one. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that, just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie.
54. You can't block me. You just...
They'll run again with Clement. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. The Eagles on third down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This time it's 3rd and 3. On third down, here comes Clement. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
No, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for the Eagles, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Big D to take on the Cowboys. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3 and 3. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions. And for Charles Day.